Okay. So I think the way that we'll do this, we'll do our little readings again, is you'll read it, but instead of just sort of waiting for you to translate it, we'll try and pick it up a little bit faster. So basically, what I mean by that is I'll just ask I'll just say, what parts of that do you recognize? Then I'll ask the whole group, and then we'll just translate it together. And I'll show you how I would look this stuff up using particularly the Tlingit Verb Dictionary. So we'll start with that, and then we'll move back into beginning Tlingit, and then I've got a story for us to listen to, which is one I really, really enjoy. I enjoy the story, and I particularly enjoy this telling, and like to move between Tlingit and English is really fun. And there's you become what we call q'achji. Q'achji means an interpreter, and that's really fun because it really means you hear something that hears people. You're someone who hears people. Q'achji. And they talk about that in the Battle of Sitka story, when they had these interpreters. Okay, can you guys hear us out there? I just want to check. How? Can anybody? Let me stop this. Everybody else out there? Can anybody hear?
Yes. Everything's coming through.
Okay. So it's not me, it's you. You might try to reload. Well, I had some problems on my end. You can, if you ever have problems like trying to, well, there's a couple of things we should go over. Let me send this link real quick to Tin. I think she was asking for it, and then we'll talk about logging into the class, and then we'll talk about what to do. So if you're having any technical difficulties, if you're on the phone or something, it's going to be different. But if you're on, there should be something where you see kind of a little thing like this, and there's a button that says Settings. When you click on Settings, you have some different things here, and this is where you can set where the output is, and you can test it. So if you push this button, then that should tell you if there's something going on with the connection. So that's something to probably take a look at. I usually have to goof around with this thing a couple times when I first started up. So there's that. Is anybody else having any kind of difficulties out there as far as the technology goes? Can you all see the screen? You guys online? Little readings in Tlingit? Okay. So we'll just kind of review, and then we'll get to, we did 2 pages. I'll say it, and then you guys just repeat. We'll do 1 sentence at a time. Dasawe ashuk.
Dasawe ashuk.
Du keek away hint with the git.
Du keek away hint with the git.
So and then we can see the English there. Isi akwe katakah. Du shi kut ujahi. Okay. Khand unak akhit. Kasawe du tuwa ushka shaudu khashi. So we go kash away du tuwa ushka.
Away due to
Shaudu khashi. So that last word is really good for us to focus on the vowels, short and low, long and low, short and high. Sh, dish, ha, shi. Right, and as we see those, and as we hear them, as we think about them, those are things we got to kind of put into our mind. So there's the kachtinach. I'm going to hide a little bit. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. The ataku to get the ashat. Take achtak away. There's the English for that. Achyi ayu. Dugak asachan. Let's see if Qashtin. Okay, yeah, so Qashtin. That was a really good question. So it's going to be the same link to access the class every time. And then I think I changed if you go to, basically if you ever miss class or if you're ever looking for content for our class, you go to tlingitlanguage.com, learning Tlingit, intermediate Tlingit, and this is where if you want handouts from the stuff that we're doing, everybody should have this. This is what I send. This is my text response to a lot of things these days. But then this link that says you can access our class here, that will always be the place where you can access our class. And so at some point I'll try and learn a little bit more. Maybe next semester we'll have something a little easier, but for now, this will get you here.
So we don't have past classes now?
Yeah, they're on here. So then this watch class is how if you miss a class, you go here and you click watch class, and now they're on YouTube.
Okay, I just can't read that very well.
It's very small.
No worries.
But yeah, so it usually takes a day or so, but then the YouTube version is up there. And it's up there if you want to review it, like, oh, what did we do that one time? If you want to share it, anybody can watch it, Right? Was it rambling about that? Okay. And then just let me know if you guys are having any access issues, because there's always something. Adu hasayu. Achunki ayu. And when you say chunki, there's probably more speakers who would say achunkiyan. And then there's a few speakers who'd say achunkihas. So there's hus and yan that could come after, but basically to pluralize a kinship term. So you don't pluralize yetki, but you pluralize achdachchankiyan. And then hus is the default. There's a few that take yun, most of them take hus. And this is why you hear people give speeches, they'll say, Achish hus, my father's people is how you would translate that. Achat hus, achsani hus, achliku hus. Right? And then this one guy made it, he was like, and all you other husses, right? So, I didn't say that, I can't remember who said it, but I think it was maybe, I won't give anybody a bad reputation. I thought it was hilarious. Okay. So chunki, if you could say chunki, I think that's fine. Vesta Dominic said it. But some people might correct you, and chunki yun is the most common. Chunki hus is not as common, but it's totally acceptable. I hear people say. And then chunki is also okay. But she probably leaves that off because these are they're little readings. You gotta do things to make them small. Okay. Who wants to be the first reader? We just got to do these kind of fast so we can move on to the next thing. Why don't we just go this way? For a young fella, maybe, I don't know if you want to read it or not. It's up to you. I can help you if you want. It would be this one.
Oh. Wow.
So the first word is Uchta usko. Achyit.
Achit.
Skunde gukwa gut.
Kunde. Gut.
Okay, very good, very good. So I'll just ask the whole gang, is there anything that you recognize in there? Skunde, right? What is, that's the way skunde. School, so gukwa gut.
He will go to school.
He's going to school, he will go to school, right? That's a future form. Future form of the verb. People gukwa. That he or she will gukwa or cookwa. That's what they're gonna do, right? He or she. I'm gonna cookwa, right? You're gonna cookie. Oh, all right, go. How about this part? What are we getting there? Ugh, yeah. So teeth. The usk, yeah, to wash. So you can see, and ugh is built right into the verb. So ugh the usk would literally mean like washing the teeth, brushing the teeth, right? So usk is to wash something, and in Tlingit. So in English, you don't say I'm going to wash my teeth. I mean, you usually say I'm going to brush my teeth. And then achit, that's the way achit cha. My son. Okay. So there, we've got that. My son is brushing his teeth. He will go to school. And so the ugh doesn't have to always be on there, right? So I could say, I ugh na uz, brush your teeth, right? That's a command form, brush your teeth. Okay. Yeah, wait. No. So the na pops up in there. Okay. And Gawin? Okay. This one's maybe a little tricky, kind of something new for us. Shakasyek. Akash. On kadekwagu. Gukwagu. And when you're saying these things, the day part kind of runs right into the verb. You usually don't hear speakers say on kade gukwagu. You usually hear them say on kade gukwagu. So it just runs right into that next one. Okay, well, there's a picture there. The picture helps. I should take the picture away. But I'm not.
The picture is too much of a cheat.
Right, it does help, because then this helps our brain sort of figure some things out, which is fine, because we probably haven't run into this yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? What do we think the verb root is for here?
Can you make it a little bigger?
Yes, all right. They are little readings. Oh, no.
Who hired this guy?
Slightly bigger, maybe.
I'm trying. But I made it, man. It's like, okay, clown, I'm not doing anything now.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you.
So yek is a good. Okay, so we're going to look up yek and see what happens. That's a suggestion from the gang. So let me make this larger as well. I'm not able to do this. Okay, hold on.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's a blush. Okay. So we go down to Y-E-I. The K is going to be one of the last consonants, right? So here's K. I don't see any KW. There's hold, busy, worked out, watch, beat, talk. That doesn't seem like it's in the right sort of area. So if it's not yake, so what happens, there's this thing that happens that we're gonna have to be ready for this thing. If a verb root has an open ending, which means it ends with a vowel, and you close it, a lot of times the AA will become EI. The OO will become WEI. This is when you have oina, the verb for that would be wushiqu. Qu is the verb root. Ya anasquain, he or she is beginning to know it. Anasquain, you go to ku. There's not very many of them, but as you encounter it, so if we were to look up ya, so we go down to ya, there's a whole bunch of yas, and this is the one that we're interested in. Okay? So this is to comb the hair. There's a related sort of verb, which is to lower something. There's another related verb, which is to spread out, like a blanket or something on the floor. Shakauziya.
How do you say, she is not
She's not combing her hair?
going downtown?
Oh, all right. Yeah, because she's going down, right?
Wait a minute.
I don't know. She's a little young, but maybe she's going to the toy store downtown. When you say on ka, it literally means like on the land, but this is what we mean for like downtown, right? So another sort of thing that I've heard speakers say is, "Dasawewe an kadigi." What's the news from town, right? In other words, give me that juicy gossip, right? Tell me what's going on. I want to know. Right? So we get my niece. Oh, whoops! I forgot to ask you guys. I put akash. What kind of niece is that? Oh, we haven't done kin. Well, we did a little bit of kinship last year, so you're not off the hook. You're on. You're totally on that hook. You have a keshk and a kash. You are more responsible for raising your keshk than your kash. Right, so if I'm like shukach ati, all those other shukach atis who aren't my kids, well, none of them are my kids, but there will be a kesh kehas. Those are my, and then boy, girl doesn't matter. Kesh means same moiety. I'm in charge of them. I command, I can give them all these commands, I could do all this other stuff. Kash would be my, you would have a whole bunch of these too. And so this is where it gets pretty interesting. So as a male, all of your female siblings' kids are going to be your kesh. Or male, boy, girl, doesn't matter. All of the boys' kids, if everybody's marrying opposite, we're just assuming that those would be kash. Right? Kash is still a very important thing. But just by that kinship term, you're saying, you're also my clan opposite. And there's lots of, I don't know why there's all these sunny jokes, like your paternal uncle. You gotta be real careful, but they make those jokes all the time, right? And something about that, we'll hear it in the story later. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. Jinda usk
Washing
the
hands.
tun.
My
Grandchild.
grandchild is washing their hands.
Whose grandchild?
Oh,
Your grandchild.
My grandchild?
His
His or her grandchild, right?
I always think of do is.
What if that was my grandchild? How would I say my grandchild is washing? Jinda usk ach the tun. Your grandchild is washing his or her hands. Jinda usk itachhan, right? Atka kwacha, and what is that?
going to eat.
Yeah, he or she is going to eat, right? So here's the cha. That one we should probably be a little familiar with, right? And these are some things, there's a whole bunch of good verbs you can use as far as starting to use Tlingit in your day-to-day communication. Atkachtucha, we're going to eat. Atkatucha, let's eat. Cha, eat. Eat it, right? Atkutwacha just means we're going to eat. And there's a couple of, once you have the ut in there, there's no object there. So we're not going, this isn't saying, we're going to eat that salmon that I was talking about. This means we're going to eat, right? We're going to eat.
So if that's a verb, then, but isn't meal
Atcha. Atcha comes from, because it's really interesting, because atcha could mean the noun for food. Atcha could be a command form, like if someone says, I'm so hungry, you might say, atcha, eat something, just eat. You're commanding somebody to eat.
Okay.
But you're not saying eat that thing, you're just saying eat something.
But it is a noun. It could be a noun or a
Atcha
verb.
is a noun.
Okay.
Atcha is a verb as well. Just like Lance.
Oh. Gross.
His grandchild is washing his hands. He is going to eat. And we also see with the English, we have to put some sort of gender on the pronoun. Okay, that was good. We did that one really fast.
Oh boy. Na ye shada I don't know. Ach yadi cha yesu shawad dinuch.
Yesu showed the nook. Nook. We're going to keep those short ones short. Yeah, oh my.
How do you say that up to the top one?
Na ye shada ugh.
Shada
Ach yeti. Yesu showed the nook. Okay. Okay, well we were making some really good traction. There's a few complicated things in here. Do we know what na is?
Clothing?
Clothing is related, right? So na in this case is kind of, it could mean like to drape, but in this case it means kind of just the upper part of the body. That's what we call na. So you can think of clothing as like upper part of the body things, because they kind of drape over that part of the body.
Oh, and that's more Tlingit robes.
Nachein, yeah, so nachein is like that upper part of the body, and then the chein part is the kind of white scabby part of an old salmon.
So that my child is putting on their shirt.
My child is putting on, putting clothes, kind of, you get the sha part and the there's a lot of stuff going on, but ye awa u is kind of a similar one, like, ye na u is to wear something or to use something. Sha da is like, it's in this process of happening right now. It's a bunch of stuff going on right now. But u is the verb root for that one. U is the verb root. Chayesu would be sort of like, when you say chayesu, it means like just now, like just recently, just right now. There's other ways to use yesu, and it could mean, if it comes, sometimes if it comes after the verb, that means like he's still doing, like I left and he was eating cereal. I came back 45 minutes later and he's eating cereal. I'm like, you're still eating, right? But then this would be like just now, just recently. Shaudanuk.
Head. Over his head?
So this shaudanuk, I had a question here. So this verb is to specifically put things on over your head. There's other ways to sort of talk about doing that. This is one of the verbs that you could use. So a dress, you could put on like this. A vest, you could probably put on like this. You could also just say ye na u, like ye na u is a command form. Ye awa u would be he or she did it. And then the shaudanuk, there's like a whole bunch of nuke verbs. So nuke is the verb root. We're just going to look that up.
Is the U cartoon?
Say that again?
Is the U cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when a verb root goes short, it has to be high. There's like one or two exceptions, but for now, just if it's short, it's going to be high. That's just the way it's got to go. They're not going to be short and long. So there's a whole bunch of nuke verbs, and there's two main types of nuke. There's sitting and especially the act of sitting. And this is why you say qanu, right? You're telling somebody nuke is the verb root, the K falls off. But then the other nuke is to touch something or to kind of behave in a certain way or to feel. It really has to do with kind of feeling things. This is the one that we're looking at, right? And how do we know it's that one? Shao de nuke. So we know we're looking for nuke. We know the classifier is going to be 0 plus D. So we're looking for D classifier. Sha is going to be on the front of it, which means the head of something. So as we look up nuke, we just start browsing through and we see sha de nuke. That's it right there. Sha de nuke, to get up, right? So he's getting dressed. He just got up. He just woke up.
Why would we, I know you just said this and I'm not getting it, but why would we be looking for nuke in N-O-O-K when it's N-U-K?
We always look them up long. They are recorded long and low just for convenience. So no matter whenever we look at these things, we're going to look for the long and low version. The reason for that is because you can have nuke, nuke, nook. So it can appear in those three different forms because the verb stem starts changing its shape. And it does so regularly, but in order to just have convenience of looking it up, we say the default form of a verb is long and low.
But it's a totally different letters.
Okay.
U and like.
Yeah, because the U goes to the OO.
Okay.
Right.
Is
So
there a place where it shows how those change?
Yeah, when we first started doing vowels, we said there's four vowels in Tlingit. Now this is a really good question, right? Because this is stuff that we just got to keep coming back to the fact that. Oops, I have it in a different thing. So when we think about Tlingit sounds,
Oh, I see it.
we focus a lot on these consonants because they're just crazy. They're these crazy things, right? Like everybody just hears all the crazy things in there. But what we have to remember is there are 4 vowels in Tlingit, but each of them have 4 ways they can appear. So the A, the E, the I, the U. I'm so tempted to say. I saw this like indigenous comedian. He's like, well, these other people, they got these vowels, A, E, I, O, and U, and sometimes Y. It's like, well, we native people, we got our own vowels. It's E, I, O, U, A. Sometimes, why? Okay, well, we have A, E, I, and U, but they can all be long or short, low or high, but they are the same vowel. It gets tricky because if it's in a noun, it has to stay that way. Most of the, sometimes at the end, you'll see that it can be long or short, it doesn't matter. So it's not going to move in a vowel, in a noun, but in a verb, in the verb root, everything before the root is always long, short, and low. And then the root itself can be long and high, long and low, short and high.
Wait, everything before the root?
Yeah, and so a verb could be very long, but all of those vowels are going to be short and low except for the root.
Really?
Yeah. You're not going to have any high tones at any other spot in the verb except at the very end.
Okay.
Short and high.
Yeah, so for the verbs can be, they could be long and low, which is the default. Then they could go long and high. And then they could go short and high. That is it. But the vowels themselves have 4 variations, right? These are just things. So the U becomes the OO. And we'll see some cases where that happens. It's predictable. There's only one that I know of that goes from an EI to a short A. That one's crazy. That happens a couple different times. So this is why AO, DAP, AO, ADI contracts the DAKTAWIDI. It's an A sound. Okay. Back to our, they're just little readings. I like how deceptive that is. Yeah, these are just cute little readings. Okay, good or good. Yeah, what? So then same thing. See, we see short, high, right? Good or good. Yeah, the huts. What kinds of things do we recognize in there?
Going somewhere.
He is, right? So yejene is work, right? Yejene, and there's a whole bunch of stuff you could put in there. That yejene kukwagut, a steich kukwagut, he's going to go fishing. Ashun kukwagut, he's going hunting. A steich kukwagut, he's going dancing. Right? And so kukwagut, that gut is to go somewhere. This khas, I mean, we got the picture right there. We should, what is achuk? My husband, right? My husband. So yet the khas. So what do we look up to find that verb?
It's the thing that shaves.
Khas, it is, well, he is shaving, right? So that's going to get us, but just to see, the picture helps. But then I want to see, well, how do we get from there? So we go X's, we go down, khas, to scrape. Yate khas, to shave. It's right there, right?
And also to plane something, right?
Plating might be different. But this is more like just specifically scraping something off of a hide. And for Tlingit, it's probably because you're not your face isn't getting any smaller and the pieces are coming off. You're scraping that hair off. The ya is the vertical surface or the face of something, right? With the khas.
Yeah.
My husband is shaving. He is going to go to work. Okay. Yipa.
Say what? We shall what? And not maybe good.
Say what? We shall what? Gandach. Nech good. Okay. Do we know, which ones do we know? Shawat, right? So way shawat would be that woman, right?
Shivering.
So say what? We should know the ut part. Right? Cold. So we had pussiat and wussiat. Say what is for a person to be cold. You have to have that sa part on there. And there's an object pronoun in the front. So if there's an object, if that's an object pronoun, how would you say I am cold? Khat say wa'at. We are cold. Ha say wa'at. You are cold.
If say what?
The if, right, but then we gotta, well, what we gotta do is just push them together. Is say wa'at. No, And then, okay, so that woman is cold. And Gashtin got this part. Neish uwagut. When you say neish uwagut, that means she went inside or she came inside. It has to, this neish, there's a neish which is like home. But in this case, when it pops up right before a motion verb, that means inside a building. Right? So this, and if you know the Raven stories, it also means inside of a whale. You can neish uwagut inside of the whale. What about this gandach business? It's a different gun, and that's das. But yeah, that's a good thing. So, well, let's just find gan, right? G-A-A-N. So we're going to look here. And go down. And then there's the G. This one goes short and low, short and high, long and low, long and high. So we'll look long and high. There's a gon, which is the smoke hole, but that's different. Oh, this is kind of fun. They're all related, I think. So there's a gun, which is firewood. There's a gun, which is fire. There's a gon, which is a smoke hole, or that little soft spot on a baby's head is called their little smoke hole. And then gon with a high tone is outside. And then there's another gon, but that's a non-related one, which is a woman's menstrual cycle.
She's going and.
Well, what is the dach part? Ade adach, ade adach, ade adach, gon dach. From outside. She came in. So she came in from outside.
So, wait, who were good?
Yeah. So you're going to have, so we saw good wagut, or this, a lot of times this would say KG instead of the GUG. Kuk wagut or guk wagut, it can be said either way. But there's two ways you could say the sort of perfected version, wugut, uwagut. The difference would be, you could say neshte wugut, she went home.
Isn't this like a plus I? It happened already?
It is. It's a plus I, and there's a perfective. But there's one more thing being added here. So if you say neshte wugut, what I'm communicating is she went home. But if I say nesh uwagut, she went inside. So what happens here, the first type of motion is say we're just going, we're not specifying that there's some end. The other part would be she made it, right? She made it. So you're going to see, if you see woo something in a verb, that means you're just saying that there was something that happened. But when you say uwa, that means it also achieved some goal, right? It achieved some goal. And so this is where the motion verbs get a little tricky sometimes, because you're saying like it made it, right? The other one, and so English doesn't really do that, right? You would have to say she went home and she made it home. Right? But in Tlingit, you would do those. Those are two different verbs. We won't worry about that too much.
And gon dach.
Gon
Not a
dach.
verb, but it's kind of a verb. It feels like a verb, but it's
not
not
a verb.
But it's coming in from somewhere. I mean, is
Well, the
that?
uwagut part, yeah. Neich uwagut would mean she came inside. The gon dach is just saying from outside.
Okay.
Right.
It's more of a-
So you can say gon dach, gon day. But you're probably going to have some kind of verb after that to talk, because you usually don't just say outside.
Right.
But
So the confusion I'm having, sorry, I don't know if it's real confusion, but I'm looking for an I in there.
oh, I see what you're asking. Okay, so the thing to remember here, there is one classifier that's plus I that does not have an I in it.
Of course.
Do we know what it is? We should know what it is.
Verbs in motion?
Well, it doesn't have to do with motion. So if we look at our sort of, oops, wrong one, sorry. So if we look at our classifier chart here, and I opened the wrong one. And if we're thinking about things that are plus I, just really, it states that the verb has specifically happened, right? So we have se, ze, tle, gle, she, je, de, ya. So the ya is the trickiest of the bunch. You just have to remember that ya is a plus I. It's the equivalent of the de and the se and the ze.
So can we go back and look at it one last time?
Sure. So the uwagut is the which is the perfective marker, and the ya, plus ya.
But it doesn't even write that. So what?
Oh, okay. Well, yes, that is another good point. This has the two dots because if there's a U or a double O, so the U and the double O, you got to keep this in mind too. Those will cause rounding. They turn Y's into W's. It's just what they do.
So I'm still missing all that S, the zero marker,
Every verb has a classifier group. You cannot change it. That just says this is just part of the verb, and now you move within that sort of group. You move within that group to show sort of grammatical function, right? And so when we say gut or gut, that's a zero because it's a future form. When we say uwagut, that's a plus I form, right? So when we go to the perfective, they're going to go plus I. We say, yes, that did happen. Hua se ku, I know it, right? No. Yach de hwas, I shaved my face. Yach de hwas. Tin, I watched it. Woodley we were shopping.
So each of the verbs belongs to one of these four groups.
Yes, every verb has, so a verb has a root. The first way, now you've got a root. In order to make a root into a verb, you have to add a classifier. You could change that classifier to make a new verb. Yet, ayatin, he or she sees it. Ausatin, he or she sees that specific thing that we were talking about. Ashtin, he or she is watching it. So what the classifier does is it changes when we're sort of saying it's this type of thing. It's not this any old thing, it's this certain type of thing. For example, here's another one. Yak'e, it's good. There it is right there, the yak. It's easy to see. Chat yak'e, yak'e, ha yak'e. To say, for example, my car wasn't working very well, but you're a mechanic and you came over and you fixed it up. I would say, ha, yishak'e, you improved it. It's different than it's good. You made it good, right? That's what the classifier does.
Will the classifier change the mode, or is it always in the same mode? So.
The mode will turn the classifier in a certain way. So here's all your verb modes. Most of them are minus I. And that's just the default version. We think of it as like minus I, that's just the default version of a classifier. So to do it, not doing it, in the process of doing it, didn't do it, the imperative like do it, does it every time, hasn't done it yet, will do it, and so then there's only a few that are plus I. There's only a few that are plus I. The perfective is one of them. That's the one that we're sort of looking at. Plus I means it has happened. Okay. Back to our little reading. This people.
I'm so
Okay, there's a bunch of these little ones are getting bigger. What do we recognize? And what kinds of things do we recognize in there? Dusha? right? These are her head. Also, so is also. Usk is to wash. So she's also, or he is also washing his head. Chavu. We know what chavu is? Hair, right? Washing head and hair, maybe. Tashuch. Keknach aku'e. Which one should we look up first? How about tashuch? What are we going to look up?
Let's go for it.
Go for now. So we'll look up, so for nouns, we just look up the first letter, so da. So here's the da, the gitya, da, the na, da, there's a S, there's no SH. So if we go into here, we can look up shooch, and we'll get to bathe. And there's something else in here, like this, for a lot of this verb also means to soak in the cold water for strength. Like it's not just bathing, it's not just taking a bath. Right, so now we've got that. So we've taken a bath. The kiknach thing, we could probably go to this other, we could probably go to here and look up the kiknach. Kinde, kisha, kiknach, in addition to, right? Also, right? So this is how, so what this will tell you is there's this verb and another verb. They're doing this and they're doing that. And they're doing these two things at the same time, which we can see in the drawing, right? Aku e. And we could probably guess what that one is.
Whistling.
Right, so that's whistling. And then if we want to find it, we're going to try A, but we'll be ready to look up AA as well. This is one I think where that's just what it is.
Can I ask a very basic question about
Sure.
the chooch, whatever? So that's a verb, to bathe. So is the classifier, is that the DA?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean,
So-
is that all that you need? Is that the minimal amount of verbiage that you, is that the,
There,
You know what I'm
to be
saying?
a verb, it has to have a root and a classifier.
that's, so I mean,
That's
that
all.
seems very short to
That's
me.
all,
and a
that's-
very long version,
Those
so-
two things are required.
Okay.
There's another, to go deeper into the well, we go from yashuch, so you would say ayashuch would be he or she is bathing it. Dashuch would be he or she is taking a bath. Okay, we'll just finish this page and then we'll have to move along. All right, these are very fun, right? Oh, let's do that. Let's see how we did in the translation. Is whistling while taking a bath. He is washing his hair too. So you can say dushatsu usk chawu. You could also say dushachawu tsu usk. You could say it either way. Either way is totally fine. Dashuch kiknach aku'e. Doing something while doing something else. Kiknach ties those two verbs together in a really fun way. Nasai ikwa.
Due to Sigu.
Achi akash dutu wusigu. Okay. Any parts that you recognize? Huh?
She feels good.
She's happy. She feels happy. Akash, my niece, right? My paternal niece. And what is Achi? She, yeah. So when this is one, we don't have to look it up. This is a noun, song, music. This is a verb. He or she is singing. My niece is singing. She is happy. Achi akash dutuwu sigu. Okay, huchi ayi.
Adu sawe ayashuk klesh wasapu. I can't tell anything from the picture. It's heading in an invisible.
Adu sawe ayashuk. Who? Yeah. We had laughing, right? And so the laughing was wushu or ashuk, and now we're getting ayashuk. So we'll go to shuk and we'll see what, there's a clue in here. So we have shuk, which is to laugh, and then we have yashuk, which is to smile at something. And so we know that it's the smiling one because we have the ya right there. In between this, we should recognize this as an object. Ya is zero subject, is zero classifier. Shu is the root. Adusawe ayashu.
I'm smiling.
So you might, if you were to say who is smiling, you would say aduch sa. Aduch sa. And this is where it gets a little tricky as well. Because if you're saying adu sa, you're asking, in this case, who is he or she smiling at? This is pretty fun. I don't know. It's such a mysterious kind of. That's a nice way to end it. So it's just a little fun sort of thing. We'll pick this back up next week. I know you guys several of you didn't get to go. I want everybody to have a chance. You guys online didn't get a chance to go. But these are great. But I want to get back to moving through the beginning Tlingit, so we're just sort of stacking on some things. This helps us jump ahead and look at, and there's lots of stuff in here. This little tiny book has so much stuff that you can start to take and learn how to use in other ways, right? Okay.
This is much less threatening than like the stories, like the long stories. But the elders.
We're going to do one of those next.
I know, but I'm just saying.
But yeah, I like it. It's little, they're very short. And they're really practical. That's what I really like about this book is that people smile, people brush their teeth, people take baths, right? These are just things that people do. You can learn how to talk about. Okay, take 5, come back, and we'll move back in the beginning, please.
And I got chips if anybody wants them.
Okay. All right, let's get back to it. So we'll the nouns from the end of our last, the weather chapter. So this is page 103 in the beginning Tlingit workbook. And what we'll see is what beginning Tlingit does is introduce some concepts slowly. Then while it's doing the nouns, it starts with ones that are easy for English speakers to say, and then it ends, it starts to get up to the more complex stuff. I heard through the grapevine, here's my Aunt Kanigi, is someone who was trying to pass an ordinance in Juneau to say street names have to be pronounceable by children and first responders. And I was hoping to get some first responders and teach them some Tlingit real fast, and then take a bunch of kids who already know Tlingit and go there oh yeah, they could say it. How come you can't? Right? So, anyways, these are just some things to just watch. I'm always on the. My ear is finely tuned, I think, for BS that tries to put languages in these hierarchies. Anyways, that was my sort of side angle rant.
I can't say Shattuck very easily.
Would that be retroactive? Something heating on the change.
Right? I don't know. I don't think it went. I don't think it passed. These are things we should. We got some folks who are probably in the assembly now who might be more in tune to helping to sound the alarm when stuff like that happens. But these are just things we should watch for. Also,
We were doing it specifically to prevent.
Tlingit place names, yeah, Tlingit street names. I mean, what else? Are we going to have Hawaiian street names here? So I think we could probably step forward and in those, if those come to our attention, we could certainly say, oh wow, that's anti-Tlingit language legislation. That's really interesting. And then we kind of put those discussions on the table. Anyways,
It's not interesting. This is happening.
stay fired up. Okay, we'll get back to it. So we'll just do these once. Ka, cook, cook, eat, shop, tuck, shuck, yakay, gotch, Kawakan, Kach, Sakwina, Sao, Sikhat, Sikh, Usa, Uzi, Tustanese, Chas, Twos, Knees, Sisa, Taka, Kanata. It's not Canada Day, it's Kanata Day. Okay, sorry. Kita. Oh, so there's that thing. So what is hit?
The one that sweeps.
Yes, to sweep, right? But we're usually going to say hit. We'll see that one in a little while. Chuta. So what is chut? Chops. That is correct. It chops. Sit. Glee. That also means flesh or muscle, right? We would say this one. It gets a little tricky, but this I would actually say is glee. What glee is what it is. But if you're going to say, oh well, this is beef. Wasus glee. Okay, so it's going to get this possessive marker at the end. Next week, we're going to start getting into, we're going to learn how to possess nouns next week. Halloween's coming, so we're going to learn how to possess. Right?
Oh, it's possessive because it's the cow's meat. It's the cow's possessing that meat. Is that why it gets?
Yeah, so there's possessive markers, and what we'll learn is body parts only get possessive markers if they are now removed.
Huh? I remember you saying that.
Technically, if there could be a situation where somebody loses their hand and they carry it all over the place. Ah, Jin, like it's still mine. I'm not going to argue with your grandma. I think conceptually and grammatically cover hands. Okay. Plate baby. Sigh away. Sigh away. Yikla. Yikla. Astaqatli. So what is os? What is dog? Around. What is thought?
Fungus? Mushroom? Bark? Spiders?
Thought keju. Thought has thought shawit thought to us to go. One panin say kutina kayikach. Chad chulchukach. Katehin ayu. Atpuskuchu. Desai awesha uskla. Glekach inach aida kamnikin. Deshitan shawu away natasahini. Tagish kaya ye yaku. Hade yanakakha. Achjit. Away auditan. Ya achtuas sagu khataya atkisakuchu. Yekwati. De khataya khakuch. Achkari yikdewugu. Khanakawani. Wasasieti. Yake wa eqa. Eswasa. Huqaye yawaka. Sunny boy achtuas sagu. Khatra. Dasa ito asiku. Sunny boy. Dasa ito a sunny boy. Kat aya sunny boy. Haka ha sailor boy. Ito a sun. Atejo asiku sunny boy. Kat is a cracker. Asta. Cracker around the tree. That's what that translates to. Cracking fungus. Asklakwa. So here's os. Here's the part. Glak. DLAKW. To scratch. It's a tree scratcher. That's a hard thing to find a picture of. I could not. I should have just.
What's it called in English?
PV. It's to roll, like to roll a log, I guess.
After that comedian, PB for me.
Oh.
What is it? Did I do that? Okay. And there must be a way that I'm writing on this or something.
Oh, I thought someone had drawn it on the screen.
Maybe okay, there. I think I cleared it. I think I did somehow. Well, maybe someone else did. Is somebody out there drawing it? Is there some way? Okay. Must be some way to do it. Have fun.
That was me. Sorry. I'm on my cell phone.
You discovered that for us. That's kind of
Yeah. I'm trying to send out text messages, but I can't. I mean, to typewriter. I'll just draw on the screen.
That's right. Agesu hasta yeba kakada yacheti hasta yuchetangi akhshiyech kahina. I'm still in that mode, reaching for them for help. It's like that when I use their language. And he'd say, when he translated, he says, when I use my grandparents' language. It's really fun. There's a video I can show you guys next week that's related to this, where I asked John Martin just for some words of encouragement for speakers. It was really good. Okay, so now we get to Wasashti Danuk, which is sort of like similar to Wasa'iyati, but Shti Danuk is like, how do you feel inside? So that nuk verb means to feel something, and it could be, it's sort of like English. Feeling has like multiple interpretations, right? Because you could say, I feel the wind blow. I felt it, right? And so it's the same verb in English, but it has sometimes like you're the one it's this sensory receiving, and sometimes you're the one who's doing it. It works the same way in Tlingit, but the tu part we'll see, and when there's some different things we're going to start seeing on the front of verbs, right? We saw sha. You can put sha on the front of a verb, and what does that mean in English? Not the sh before it, but sha. When we saw that one, ya is the vertical surface, sha is the head, right? So you can have verbs for like, there's a verb for hitting something, and there's a verb for like hitting it in the face, right? The ya would be like the face or the vertical surface. The sha is the head of something. Ka is the horizontal surface. Is this aerial sense of space type of thing. Tu, this is one we're going to see here. Tu is inside of something, usually a closed container. For example, like, so tundatani is thoughts. Yuchatangi is language. So the cha is the mouth, the tu is the inside. Okay. So now we get these kind of dialogue exercises, and these are fun. These just sort of show us some conversations, right? And so here's person A, here's person B. What you guys can do if you're looking for things to practice, and if you have someone to practice with, is just to read these. Okay, you be A and I'll be a B. And what you practice is putting emotion into this. When King KC would come visit our class and they'd hear us, he said, "You're not Tlingit robots," and I know we're learning a language, so we're just like focusing on making the tones and the vowels. And now we got to start working on, these are conversations that people could actually have. You could feel, like when you say this, this is like, I feel really terrible inside. Like that is a really hardcore thing, right? This is not, and so we can have fun to sort of help us remember, but to say like, this is how you could really communicate stuff. And the goal is to be able to do all of this stuff in the language, because there's just ways you can communicate in the language that just convey so much stuff. We've got to push ourselves to get to the point where we can do this in Tlingit. So that's what these exercises show. So we'll just walk through these kind of fast, and I'll come back and I'll show you a few things about them. I'll say them, you repeat them, we'll do them each twice. Wasashti denuk.
Wasashti denuk.
Wasashti denuk.
Wasashti denuk.
Keshwasa.
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 Wasaiyati.
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 Keshkachatushke.
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 Kechatnanik shakteya.
Kechatnanik shakteya.
Kechatnanik shakteya.
Kechatnanik shakteya.
Udechwet squawege.
Udechwet squawege.
Udechwet squawege.
Udechwet squawege.
Kijk chatyanik.
Kijk chatyanik.
Kijk chatyanik.
Kijk chatyanik.
Klein ut.
Klein ut.
Klein ut.
Klein ut.
Gusafwayanik.
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 Achleituchyanik.
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 At auch de shi iwunege.
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 Gunners cheese.
Gunners cheese.
Gunners cheese.
Gunners cheese.
So coming back to the top, wasa is how, shti denuk. It's like you can feel it inside of yourself, right? Like this is, you're paying attention to your own emotions. You're thinking about sort of those types of things. And so this is a very powerful verb to use. If you're speaking to a clan who is suffering, Uhansu, shtatu denuk, ituniku. We also feel your suffering, your pain. Shtutu denuk, shtuch denuk, right? So we'll see how these things can sort of be used in a context. Kefwasa, that one too has so many different uses, right? So there's a verb that could go on there too. Anyone know what the right verb for that would be? In this context, it would be ute. 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 Keshwasa chat ute. Keshwasa ite. Keshwasa ite is you're okay. Right? Like let's say somebody's nervous, somebody's struggling, somebody gets a boo-boo. Keshwasa ite. Keshwasa ite. You're okay. Keshwasa ute. It's okay. The uses for this are very dynamic in Tlingit. Like keshwasa usually just means, okay, so you're answering the question, right? You're just answering the question. But for example, someone might come up to you and just say, and let's say we all speak Tlingit, right? And I said in Tlingit, like, I banged into your car in the parking lot. I'm very sorry. Keshwasa, it's okay. It's fine, right? Keshwas, and there's ways you can use this tied to some other verb to ask, right? Heshwasa, keshwasa, again. Is it okay that I eat your food, right? Hi, right? So, wasa'iyati, we spent some time with that one. So, klech is not, kach is really, right? Kach is really, it's very similar to kunach. You can have kach, kunach, you put them together. These are ways you can just really say it's really good, it's really bad. Chatushke. So we got the inside part, like I feel really bad inside, is what that's really saying. Kechatnanik. I'm in the process, I'm beginning to get sick. This is one of those progressive imperfectives that we were looking at with the weather verbs. So this is what you say when you feel that sickness coming on. Kechatnanik.
Now that you've explained, I mean, I know you probably did it before where everything was going over my head, but now that you've explained that, I see how often that we use that version of saying that something's in the process of changing something.
So it's starting to get better. It's starting to get sick. I'm
starting to feel sick.
It's getting there. I'm starting to get it, right? It's like, these are some things that you can sort of say, just to say, well, it's in that process, right? And so I asked somebody, I knew this elder and her husband was really sick. So I knew he was getting better, right? That's what she was explaining. The shakde is like the maybe part. Eudekwek is you are tired, right? So there it is in its perfective form. It's an object, perfective marker. Di is the classifier plus I. Kwek is the root. So this is, we've heard like kwek. What is that?
I'm tired.
Tired. How would we say we are tired? How de kwek is you are tired. Guawege is a sort of a combination to say maybe question mark, right? Maybe you're tired. So what it's doing is it's really softening this question because you don't want to say like you're tired, right? Because it sounds a little kind of know-it-all if you just sort of say it without those other parts. You could say the get. That's another. But you're just sort of saying, are you tired? That means I'm like, maybe you're tired, you might be tired. So then this is me sort of pondering some of the possibilities, why you don't feel so good. Kaik is no. Chat unique. Now I am sick, right? I'm not getting sick, I am sick. So now there's the plus I classifier, the ya. That's what that's doing there. Claim at. This is a interjection. Just like saying, oh my. Claim at. It just means like many things. Big thing. Give me either one of those.
But not big deal.
No, not really. Because it depends on how that's used in English, right? Because you can say, I'm a big deal, right? Whether you can say, big deal, right? So it's those sort of things. But yeah, this is just straight like, oh dear, like, oh my, oh dear.
Like if someone showed you their new hat and it was hideous, would you say,
That could work, right? In this one, it doesn't really have a positive, negative type of value. It's just like, oh dear, right? And it depends on the context, right? Gusa we yanib. Where is that hurt or sickness? Then there's a whole bunch. So you can have, once we learn all these body parts, we get through yanib, and then we can do all kinds of good complaining. My elbow hurts, my knee hurts, my ankle hurts, my head hurts, my throat hurts. And then here's ach for my, Sheituch is the throat. So body parts are really cool because there's like this kind of set of core ones, then there's all these things you build onto them. So sha is your neck, and then sheituch is inside of your neck. You see the two in there, just like the related one too that's built into verbs. At achdeshi is I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for it. Iwunechi, iwunech would be you got better. At achdeshi iwunechi, those are tying them together. I hope you get better. And we got the thank you part. Okay. So now let's get into these. So body parts is where we really start talking about, and then we're going to look at kinship. They have two really similar things. They should belong to something, right? And so, and English works the same way. This isn't anything too unusual, right? Like, you can't just really say, well, I was talking to, well, it becomes like a weird noun, right? Because you say, I was talking to my sister the other day. Or if I say, I was talking to sister the other day, that's either our same sister that we call sister, or maybe it's like a nun, or so. It just gets a little weird, right? Or you say, boy, I hurt my hand. Man, I hurt hand, right? There's just something missing there. Tlingit is the same way. So there's certain things that they need to belong to something, right? And it could be a noun as well. So you could say achjin, ihjin, douchejin, right? There's all kinds of things that you could say with these body parts. So we've got these little drawings to show us what they are. We'll say each of these a few times. Achsha, 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 achik, 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 achik. Yadua achik, yadua achiksha. Chiksha is a shoulder. Chik is an upper arm. Right? This is technically this part right here. Achjin, 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 achjin. So there's two of them. The limbs. There's one word for the whole limbs, and it usually means the end part. So it means hand, but it also could be my arm, my whole arm. And same with feet and legs. Achek, achek, achek. For those southern Tlingits and those cake peeping, achek, achek. So this EI to the EE switch is something we're going to see a lot. So the EE group, those are going to be those Teslan people, Carcross people, some of the Yakutat, the Yakutat people for some of the words, the Cake people for all of them. Some of the southern, like Prince of Wales, Wrangell, maybe some of those speakers down in Ketchikan. You're going to say eek. But just pay attention to speakers around you and the ones that are there and that have been there. Achwu. Oops. Achwu. 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 Achut. 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 And there's a whole bunch of things, so you can say, like, we're going to learn how to say yanik, but then there's a whole bunch of things too where you could say nak at the end or naku, and that's going to be the medicine for that. So you could say like kuchnagu would be like Tums or something, like stomach medicine, right? Achki. 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 Achus. 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 Achya. 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 This is the same ya that's built into a lot of those verbs, right? Achshachavu. 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 So this is where we start to see how things can stack up. In Tlingit, body parts can have body parts. You just start stacking them up. Chavu, on it, the chav is hair. Chavu would be the hair of something. Ach sha chavu is that's my hair. Ach ini chavu is my armpit hair, right? And so it's just different, and then they're not all the same. We won't get into all of them. Ach guk. Ach guk. Ach guk. Ach guk. Ach guk. Ach wak. Ach wak. Ach wak. Ach wak. Ach se. Ach se. Ach se. Ach se. Ach eh. Ach eh. Ach eh. Ach eh.
Piercing? Is that like your lips or your mouth specifically?
You would pierce like kind of right here.
Yeah.
The ladies would do that a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, no, like, what would that be called, and does it relate to this?
Oh yeah, so we can go look up here, and we would look for labri. Entaka. 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 And then kanuch iti is the name for the hole that's left over. So this comes from a verb. So che is the mouth part. Tag would be the verb root that we're looking for. And so you got like cut small pieces. So here like marbles, you know, and so it could be the tag part, like to bite something. I'll have to look at that one a little closer. Ach uch. Ach uch. Ach uch. Ach uch. Ach uch. Ach sheituch. Ach sheituch. Ach sheituch. Ach sheituch. So that's it. So here's, you could say ach sha'aya. Ach ya'aya. Ach waqaya. Ach sha'aya. Ach she'aya. Ach kukaya. Ach jinaya. Ach uchaya. Ach chikaya. Ach kiaya. Ach chusaya. Ach chusaya. Ach wuaya. So then we could do, so here's the goose soup with the I. So the answer would be like to point at and say yadu, for example. So and then you say yadu ach, right? So This is again a nice drill to remember the pronouns, because if I say gusu isha, you wouldn't say yadu isha. Like, you stole my head, right? So, maybe, right? Halloween's coming, there's all kinds of scary situations, right? Okay. Gusu ik.
Oh, yadu.
Yadu ek. Gusu ijin. Yadu jin. Gusu iwak. Yadu akwak. Okay, gusu isha. Yadu akhla. Okay. Gusu ikhe. Yadu akhe. Gusu ikuk. Yadu akuk. Gusu iki. Yadu akhi. Gusu ikhus. Yadu akhus. Gusu iwu. Yadu akhu. Gusu ikhuj. Yadu akhuj. Gusu ikhik. Yadu achik. Yek echa.
Is that stomach or is it?
Chuj could be, it could be your belly, and it could actually be inside your stomach.
Okay.
There's another one, you, which is like specifically your abdomen. So,
Sorry, the other one is,
woo,
and that's up for
chest. Yeah, the chest part. Then you can have woo. There's all kinds of like bones and stuff like that for that. Then there's the do, right? There's that part. And then you can do like Simon, Yechayaka, and Keshechawaka Simon. So these are fun games you could try and do. So Simon, Yechayaka. So Yechayaka would be like he or she said this thing. So this, whatever it is should come in quotations afterwards, right? Yechayaka, Yeyawaka would be this is something you'll see a lot in stories, right? So if you're telling some story, and then he said, blah, 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 right? And then Keshechawaka would be he or she didn't say it. Okay, so now, so what is different? Let's just say this, and I'll ask you the questions. Ishat shi. Ishat shi. Ishat shi. So what has changed here? There's a couple things that have changed.
Command.
It's a command form, right?
And then it is you. Touch. And then the shah has been on it.
Right. So we did day and dach, day and dach, day and dach. The T suffix means to arrive at something. We're going to see that quite a bit. I think we saw it, where did we see it in those little sentences? He with the git fell into the water, right? And so in clinking, you don't have to say into the water, just the water. You know that the water is there, right? So the T is going to be one part. The other part is if you're using this in a classroom, Ishat shi. It's one person, right? So this is, you could, if I said this to everybody, then I'd be like, I wasn't talking to y'all, I was talking to you, right? So there's two parts that would shift if this was being used plural. Anybody guess one of those two things? Ye. Ye shot, ye shi. So it would be yishe instead of shi. Right? Yishe instead of shi. Ye. Yeah, so you change one of the pronouns. In the command form of most verbs, there's no pronoun for this first person. Right? And this shi is to touch something, right? Okay. Ishat shi. Ishat shi. Ichikt shi. Ichikt shi. So even though we're putting the T on there, we're keeping that long and low. Chikt. Yeah. Ijint shi. Ijint shi. Ikekt shi. Ikekt shi. Iwoot shi. Iwoot shi. Ichut shi. Ichut shi. Ikit shi. Ikit shi. You have to hear that Y in this one, because sometimes we get a little too casual and fast. We might say, Ikit shi. You're like, my killer whale? You didn't even possess a killer whale. Everything's wrong. Ichust shi. Ichust shi. Yet shi. Yet shi. Ishachawut shi. Ishachawut shi. Igukt shi. Igukt shi. Carefully. Iwakt shi. Iwakt shi. Oh, did we do it? Oh, yeah, sorry. Iklut shi, what you're reading. Iklut shi. Iklut shi. Here's another fun fact. We have like 100 of them every class. If something ends with a short and high vowel, if you put a suffix on it, it tends to go long. So this is why sh becomes shoot. Okay. Here's another example. Ich ate shit. Ich ate shit. Ich ucht shit. Ich ucht shit. Ich ate ucht shit. Ich ate ucht shit. Then here's another command form. So like, ijin shachwash. Ijin shachwash. Ichus shachwash. Ichus shachwash. So this is to shake. And you know, whatever you're shaking, it depends on what it is and how you're shaking. This works really well for just body parts like waving or you know, just shaking something. Okay, so now let's talk about body parts. This is your chance to sort of give a little complaint. So I'll ask you all this question, and this might be the last thing we have time to do. But just pick a body part. It doesn't have to really hurt, but it can if you want, you know, if it does. And we're not asking for any pain to come to us. We're just practicing our language, all the spirits that are out there. So for example, if I say, Gusuwe yanik, we might say, Achki yanik, my knee hurts. Okay. Gusuwe yanik, or wait, I'll say wet. Let's start online. Let me go with the folks I see in the order I see them. Bagan ka, Gusuwe yanik. Okay, now let me see. I gotta get all the names on here. Hold on. Uh-oh, what did I do? Let's see, who do I see?
Shah Yanik.
Ishan. Ashken, Gusuwe Yanik.
Aksha Yannick.
Let's see who. The names aren't coming up on all of them. Tana, Gusu, Yanik. Ashten, Gusu, Yanik.
Akhlu Yannick.
Did I miss anybody online?
Yeah.
Oh, Gusu, Yanik. Okay. Is that everybody online? Sorry. Okay. Gusu Yanik. H. Yanik. Gusu Yanik. Gusu Yanik.
What's up?
Gusu Yanik. 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 Achya Yanik. Oh, Ishan. I want to say Yuck because those are good sentences. They're so mean.
How would you say my whole body is sick? I feel like
Just the cut da it. Just the cut is all. Da it is my whole body. Or da, either one. Just the cut da Yanik. I hurt everywhere. Ishan. And so then you see, you can say do, like, you know, if, let's give it some context, right? Two people come up. Ik satini. Ganesh chish. Wasa yeti. Hesh wasa khat uti. Wa eqa'a. Khat yak Wasa yati itla. Akhta away. Yanik. Gusa we Yanik. Duki Yanik. Ajawe dukhand kakwakut we naktin. Yake or dukhande kakwakut we naktin. Achwaches uwanechi itla. So you can, these are just conversations people get, you know, this could be any sort of thing when you talk about Yanik. It's not always specified to, like, if you say, Duti Yanik, that doesn't mean they have a tennis elbow. That just means their elbow hurts. It hurts. And then there are specific ones that involve Yanik, or Nigu in some cases. That could be arthritis and other types of things. But these are just sort of kind of a boo-boo type of thing. So we'll leave off there, and then we'll start getting into hungry and sleepy and tired. Which, you know, I know we all get tired, so part of me wants to say that phrase is forbidden in Tlingit language class, but I understand. Yeah, weapon cheese train kedenkia apple kayi apple yayaki. Takach tu yake singit you katangi ayash to eat two. Cheteki sani yach ayat to tay dehin. Aktuasagu etude aya. Shitty, just you hunch koa, hashish kohas, ye hunky natiji, has to toss a good cadenaya, ye darky, finish cheese, which are. Oh, there's my part.